Last Saturday, newcomer Danny Koenig struck twice, fueling a key home victory for FC Cincinnati. Tonight, a confident orange and blue side wraps up the homestand with a visit from Toronto FC 2. Happy Memorial Day weekend and welcome inside of Nippert Stadium on the campus of the University of Cincinnati. Tom Glader, thrilled to be alongside my broadcast partner and All-American Kevin McCloskey as we get you set for the first meeting this season between these two clubs. And for FC Cincinnati, Kevin, suddenly a win in the Open Cup, a win last Saturday 2-1 against Bethlehem, and it feels like the weight of the world was lifted off their back. Yeah, a lot of pressure taken off by those results. I think last weekend getting those big 3 points kind of sets them up again to be home tonight and hopefully get another result. Toronto FC 2 has just one win on the season. They've scored just 3 goals, but they have 5 clean sheets in 10 matches, and that takes us to tonight's key matchup driven by Volkswagen, and we'll see Mark Pace in goal for Toronto. Yeah, both keepers obviously want to get a clean sheet. You know, they've been very important members of the team, and I think for Mitch, obviously last week conceding a goal, a clean sheet would be huge tonight. For Mitch Hildebrandt, he will start his 42nd consecutive USL match tonight for FC Cincinnati. We'll give you the full starting 11 and check in with Lindsey Patterson down on the pitch for the first time tonight when we return. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, please. Tom Glader and Kevin McCloskey back with you at Nippert Stadium, where the teams have taken the field for the first meeting this season between FC Cincinnati and Toronto FC 2. Time to take a look at our starting lineups, brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And for Alan Koch, the same starting 11 for now the 3rd consecutive game. And Danny Koenig up top as the target, had 2 goals a week ago tonight. At the other end for Toronto FC 2, a change we already talked about. Mark Pace makes his 4th start of the season in goal, and they have 2 targets up top in Malik Johnson and Sean Hundle. All of our sideline reports today are brought to you by your local Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Volkswagen dealers. Let's head downstairs for the first time tonight and check in with Lindsey Patterson.
Guys, FC Cincinnati wants to keep that momentum going after 2 wins in a row. Also good news, former Premier League defender Justin Hoyt will be made available off the bench. He'll be in the 18, not the starting 11. All that's due to a short week in managing minutes.
So 3 matches coming up for FC Cincinnati in the next 8 days. This is the first of those 3, and another great opportunity for Mitch Hildebrandt and FC Cincinnati to get 3 points at home here at Nippert Stadium on a hot and muggy day. Tonight's match official was brought to you by Kingsgate Transportation. We could take it from here. It is Guido Gonzalez Jr., who actually was the match official June 18th of 2016, the last time these two teams played at Nippert Stadium. Toronto in white tops with blue shorts today. They'll get the first touch, and the third ever meeting between these two clubs is underway here in the Queen City. FC Cincinnati will be in their traditional blue kits. Today has been labeled a blue out by the marketing folks for the club, so a lot of the fans encouraged to wear blue, and the lads in their traditional blue as well. Matt Boehner with a good breakup defensively as Toronto gets the first run of the match, and now FC Cincinnati will work left to right. Dakers try to find Koenig across the middle. Toronto broke it up, and then Fordyce will bring it down with a header. Boehner trying to keep it in play, doesn't work, and Toronto will have a throw-in. Today's injury report is presented by the Levy Law Offices. They turn your crash into cash. And Alan Koch said this week this is probably the healthiest the team has been since he took over. Kenny Walker still on the injury report with a knee, but he's about 95%, not in the 18 today. And Aaron Walker recovering quickly from his turf toe.
Yeah, good options today for Alan. Obviously coming off a good win last week too. Good to see every week, more and more players are coming back healthy. So it'll be interesting to see how he manages this game today.
As we alluded to after we talked to Lindsay, a lot of minutes this week for different guys to get into the 18 and get on to the pitch for the orange and blue. And we'll certainly see that starting this afternoon and into the early evening. Koenig trying to pick it up across the middle of the pitch, cannot. Toronto FC will regain possession. Onto the left foot of Anconi. He'll turn it up the field to Ryan Telfer.
You're talking about minutes too, and you mentioned this earlier in your opening statement, Tommy. I mean, I think humidity is going to play a little bit of a factor today as well. Playing a 5 o'clock kickoff, it's a little bit hot on that field. So that'll be something that they monitor and watch as the game goes on.
The temperature in the high 70s. Austin Berry is down after taking the ball squarely in his groin, and he'll need a minute to get up. A hard shot at maybe, 5-6 feet away. He gets the block, but he's going to need a moment to catch his breath. We'll take another look if we dare.
That's going to hurt.
I think the replay explains everything you need to know off the foot of Ryan Telfer. And I actually joked with Austin Berry at training yesterday, because remember, in the first 30 seconds last week, he had a cut above his eye and actually had to come out of the match. And he joked with me, I hope I can make it more than 30 seconds without getting hurt. And
Tommy, you didn't jinx him, did you?
It was not the broadcaster. I'm telling the story after the fact. He's okay. He just gave the thumbs up to the match official. We gave him a moment to breathe. Matt Boehner will kindly give the ball back to Toronto. And Austin Berry will catch his breath. Toronto will knock it around their back line. Come out in a 3-5-2. How is that advantageous to what they're trying to do?
For Toronto, I mean, it's different. Obviously, FC Cincinnati be set up in a 4-3-3. It's a lot of times in a 3-5-2, you're going to be able to press out of this. You're going to create a lot of opportunities and kind of channel runs with the two forwards. The negative, obviously, for Toronto, then you can be pressed, having three at the back with FC Cincinnati's forward three. So, be interesting. Again, it's just based on game of chess and where you really want to set up your players on those lines.
Anconi will work on the near side, just in the shadows of the Nippert Stadium press box. A little bit earlier of a start at 5 p.m. today, so we'll see those shadows work their way across the pitch towards the west throughout the match. Handball there on Brandon Anconi as he got his paw on it accidentally as FC Cincinnati was trying to push towards the offensive third. Today's keys to the match are brought to you by your Tri-State Chevy dealers. What do you have for the orange and blue today, Kev?
Carrying on that confidence from last week, obviously ended a little bit differently with the weather delay, but great 3 points. I think the second thing today as well, they want to try to improve phases and periods of possession. I think if they can do that, they're going to create a lot more opportunities.
Working with possession right now, back to Mitch Hildebrand. If you missed the end of the broadcast last Saturday, certainly was a bizarre 2 hours as lightning struck within 8 miles in stoppage time. We were indicated that there would be a minimum of 4 minutes of stoppage time, so the teams were sent off to the locker room, and after 2 hours of waiting, they decided they were not going to play anymore, and FC Cincinnati picked up 3 points with a 2-1 victory. Nice run into the box for Toronto FC 2. Austin Berry deflects it away, and a foul is called. It'll go the other way for FC Cincinnati. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by UC Health.
It's kind of different. So you're asking me about the difference in systems. You know, with the front two, they're kind of trying to take out the two center backs from playing out of the back, and then their wing backs can push forward. So it's a hard system, as I said, to play out of, especially when you're playing out and building out of the back. But the key for FC Cincinnati, if they can get numbers forward and attack their defensive three, their three center backs, that's going to be where the advantage holds for FC Cincinnati.
Hildebrand out into the midfield, ends up on the foot of Dakers. Now Baynard Fordyce trying to win it back. He'll keep the possession alive. 6th minute at Nippert Stadium. We are scoreless between the Young Reds and the Orange and Blue of FC Cincinnati.
Not a ton of possession for either teams, really. You know, maybe 1 or 2, 3 passes in a pattern. A lot of turnovers to start with.
Telfer, a 5'11" forward, will throw it in right at midfield by the FC Cincinnati bench. He makes tonight his 7th start of the season. Telfer with a poor pass into the middle. Corbin Bone picks it up. 3-on-4 the other way for FC Cincinnati. Bone took it out wide and waited for Koenig to catch up. Bone still has it. He sent it across the middle right into the hands of Mark Pace, the 6'4" goalkeeper.
Good positive start by Corbin Bone, obviously playing in that attacking role for FC Cincinnati. Gets the ball, he's very confident 1v1. Drops the right shoulder, and you know, it's a good ball in. So good start by Corbin.
Working there on Brandon Aubrey. Koenig was a couple steps behind that cross, but an early opportunity for FC Cincinnati. Scored early last Saturday as Danny Koenig gave the home side an early lead. Bethlehem found an equalizer, and then a second half goal at the other end for Koenig gave FC Cincinnati the win. Delbridge will knock it back to Hildebrand. I mentioned earlier, this is the 42nd consecutive start for Mitch Hildebrand. He's the only goalkeeper ever to start a USL sanctioned match for this club, and he is the only player who has started every single match in the club's now 2-year history. Bone in the middle, over to Delbridge. Center back will push forward a bit. Tried to thread the needle to Aiden Quinn, and Toronto broke it up.
Unlucky there, actually. Good penetration from Harrison. I talked about playing out of the back. He's found himself in the middle third, takes a good positive first touch and tries to slip through to Corbin.
Toronto holding in the midfield. Tainter knocked it off to his right. Corbin Bone intercepts the pass, and FC Cincinnati wins it back. Ainer now in the midfield. Tried to slide it right up the near touchline, and didn't quite hit it the way he wanted to.
Yeah, surprised FC Cincinnati haven't, you know, tested this back three yet. They played a little bit more direct and playing behind and see, you know, what type of pressure they can put on them.
Kadeem Dakers trying to put some pressure on his head. He got his foot on it. He knocked it right into the face of his own teammate, Danny Koenig. Koenig going to need a moment to catch his breath. And the throw-in coming here for Toronto. Koenig okay. He was actually down, being attended to when we went into that Lightning delay last Saturday.
That's right, yeah.
Didn't come away with anything serious and back out on the field today. And Alan Koch will have an interesting decision to make on Wednesday when FC Cincinnati will hold that thought for a moment as Jimmy McLaughlin pushing forward to Fordyce.
Good position here. Yeah, this is nice.
Back to McLaughlin. Now Dakers working on the right side. Kadeem Dakers has it taken off his foot by Anconi. And Anconi ends up clearing it away. Tyler Pollock will chase it down. But for Allen to decide, GB's eligible on Wednesday for the Open Cup match against rival Louisville City. Of course, Koenig could play again.
Yep.
And do you maybe test some things?
Yep.
And change your shape, putting the two of them in there together as Koenig a step away as the ball rolls into the arms of Mark Pace.
The other thing too, I mean, obviously it's an open cup game, but it's a big game. You know, going back into playing Louisville again, Allen's got to be mindful at least as GB game fit. You know, as he So does he want to start him? Maybe bring him off the bench? I mean, they're all things that's going to go through his head, I'm sure, this week.
If you know Alan Koch, you know he hasn't been worried about Wednesday yet.
No,
right now, his number one concern is Toronto FC2 and trying to get 3 points today. Barry clears it out into the midfield. Koenig knocked down from behind. That will be a foul. Brandon Aubrey, the 6'3" defender, picks it up. Aubrey, a product of Notre Dame. Played there from 2013 to 16. 4th round pick in the 2017 MLS draft.
Great early baller. That's what I was talking about. Just trying to turn Toronto's back three if they can and get in behind. They certainly got enough space and kind of dynamic movement with Jimmy McLaughlin and Dakers to get in behind that. Good early thought there by Aidan Quinn.
Throw in deep here for Toronto in the 11th minute as we are scoreless. Young Reds will try to get it out into the midfield, and throw in never stayed in bounds. Tyler Pollock will get a chance to put it back into play for the home side. Corbin Bone over to Quinn. Actually, his pass intended for Jimmy McLaughlin went off the match official. Toronto picked back up possession, but they play it too strong out to Alan Koch, so it'll be a throw-in for FC Cincinnati. Toronto throw in right in front of FC Cincinnati's bench. Austin Berry, Matt Boehner now forward, ends up on the foot of Luis Pereira. Corbin Bone on the right side. Kadeem Dakers. Dakers try to get to Danny Koenig, broken up. Brandon Aubrey. He'll push it out, and Matt Boehner will push forward to throw it in just outside the offensive third.
Good step there by Aubrey just to read that play. And again,
throw into Kadeem Dakers is intercepted. Toronto has some space on the right side. Oyvind Alsith will push forward. Alsith in the middle to Malik Johnson, a midfielder out of Toronto. Of course, being an MLS 2 side, we talked about it during the week, looking at the roster. Would there be some surprises, some players sent down from the MLS club? The MLS club actually played last night. This club played on Wednesday, a draw 0-0 against Richmond. And there are a few guys who are dressed and starting who are on MLS contracts. Camargo is one, Alsith, Aubrey, and James.
No, we talked about it, Tommy. Obviously, it's a challenge for us, looking at an MLS 2 team, how they're going to shape up, if they're going to play in any of the first team games before they come in and play a USL game. It's got to be tough, though, for Alan and a USL team as well, to prepare what personnel they need to be ready for. I don't think it's going to make any difference in their shape, but those key personnel do make a big difference.
And we certainly saw it when Orlando City B came here, and they were loaded up with MLS players.
These guys are obviously talented players too,
Tyler Pollock makes a great run across midfield, and then he's tripped up just across the midfield line. Lost possession, but the foul was called, and the ball will move left to right when Aidan Quinn puts it back into play. Alsith called for the foul. Quinn across the middle of the field, and they'll try to flip it to the near side and find some space. Barry into the middle, Quinn, now Delbridge. Harrison Delbridge, after playing 300 minutes the previous week, got a few days off to start this week from a little bit lighter training, I think was how Alan Koch described it.
He definitely had a challenge last week playing 3 games.
Of course, the middle one on that was the Open Cup match against AFC Cleveland. That went a full 120 minutes.
To be fair, 3 good performances too, right?
Absolutely. And the back 4 has been very consistent this year. Austin Berry had to miss 1 game. Of course, Justin Hoyt started once in place of Tyler Pollock, but then he got hurt 12 minutes in, so Pollock came on in that match. And when you look at it, that's been really the most consistent part of the lineup for Alan Koch so far this year.
Yeah, no, it has. I mean, it's definitely been their foundation.
The Young Reds getting out of their defensive third into the midfield, left side Telfer. His ball into the middle, so he was trying to give it to Camargo. Goes off his foot and actually deflected by FC Cincinnati, so Toronto FC 2 keeps possession. Mentioned it earlier, not a lot of long possession for either club right now. We haven't seen a great scoring chance for either side, and it really feels like both these teams are taking some time to feel each other out.
Seems very, very compact, you know. Moments of transition, it seems like teams are kind of dropping back and not conceding any space in between their defensive lines.
Danny Koenig was fouled at midfield. It may have been by Brandon Onconi, and then both, Onconi and Koenig, and you can see it right there. Koenig has a cut above his left eye.
Yeah.
So Aaron Powell is out to attend to him. Onconi went down as well. Onconi, excuse me. So they will both see attention as we get a chance to look at the replay. Yeah. So the foul was called on Onconi.
Didn't see much either, Tommy, to be honest. Yeah, just
the
little
arm
flash
wrapped around the front of his chest. I think that's what it's called for the foul.
For the foul, right.
Right. And then
just the contact. I think he maybe just leaned in, but not a massive amount of contact.
Almost the same spot that we saw Austin Berry draw blood early on last Saturday. In that match, Berry had to come out for about 4 minutes. Koenig will get attention from Dr. Growy down there on the sideline right at midfield. Obviously, they'll try to get that bleeding stopped. Did a fantastic job last week. I thought you were watching Rocky or something, the way they got Austin Berry back out there quickly.
Quick, yeah. Good at what they do.
Onconi appears to be okay. And Danny Koenig is going to need a few minutes before he can return. So FC Cincinnati right now a man down, and they're missing their target up top.
Keep possession, yeah.
Quinn's going to hold it right in. And now Koenig appears to be ready, so he'll wait the signal from the fourth official. He just received it, and both clubs now back to full strength.
Good decision by FC Cincinnati. Just trying to keep hold of the ball too while they're player down.
Jimmy McLaughlin making a run down the left side. Taps it back to Polak. Polak into the middle. Fordyce just misses it, but Danny Koenig gets his third goal in 2 games, and FC Cincinnati has an early lead.
Great timing to come back on the field too, huh?
Another header for FC Cincinnati, and his wound seems to be just fine.
He's fine. He's fine. Probably came on the field about 5 seconds before this play. Ball gets whipped across, and who's at the back post? Danny Koenig.
Give the assist to Tyler Polak.
Good search and ball by Tyler too, yeah.
And Danny Koenig makes it count after Daryl Fordyce couldn't quite reach it. But a great ball from Polak. The fullbacks always push forward for Alan Koch, and Polak did his job there with a great cross. And
fantastic again by Koenig. You know, we talked about the challenges of GB being out. Seeing Koenig's come back in, I mean, he's delivered straight away, right? Confidence is high. He's had some really good performances these last 3 games, and he's scoring goals, which is fantastic.
Koenig wasn't here when GB got suspended. The trade that sent Andy Craven to Oklahoma City really spurred on by the 6-match suspension for GB. But when you put the 2 strikers together now, 9 goals between Koenig and GB this season.
Could that form a good partnership?
Certainly would excite some folks,
Definitely. I think so.
Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by your local Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Volkswagen dealers. Shot from just outside the 18 from Pereira goes just wide. No trouble for Mitch Hildebrandt. You know, I talked to Alan Koch about it on his radio show Wednesday night down at the Moorline Lager House, and he told me he really felt that Danny was a lot more comfortable last week, and we talked about it a little bit on the broadcast. He only had 2 practices to get ready for his appearance 2 weeks ago, and a full week of training. And he said, you know, soccer's such a game of tendencies that another week of training let the other players know Danny's tendencies and let Danny know theirs.
Huge. And the biggest thing last week, we talked about this, was service, right? He had support. He had balls played in the feet, into the box. And for a goal scorer like him, especially, you know, he's not a guy that's going to beat you 1v1. He's got to have that. And FC Cincinnati improved the performance to provide it.
So Danny Koenig scores his 3rd in orange and blue. Comes in the 18th minute on the assist from Polak, and it's 1-0 FC Cincinnati.
Great
Harrison
tackle.
Delbridge with a tackle in the box on Sean Hundle, and that's the tackle that Delbridge makes. He does it often in the box, and he's confident that he won't be called for a foul.
This timing has to be spot on. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's almost like his trademark tackle, right? But great ball, wins it.
It'll result in our first corner kick of the day. All of today's corner kicks are brought to you by the Levy Law Offices. Turn your crash into cash. Visit LevyLawOffices.com today. Come from our left to the right of Mitch Hildebrandt. Swung into the box by the Young Reds and knocked out by Anconi. Got the heel of his boot on it. Trying to turn it around, could not. Goal kick coming for Hildebrandt.
We talked about it earlier. Just you can even sense it around the stadium now about people are starting to have fun, and you know there's a lot more confidence. Pressure's being taken off, starting to score goals. Hopefully good signs of things to come.
For Tyler Polak, that was his first assist of the season. We talk about the service, and we've seen as some of these goals have started to come, there's a lot of different guys who can send that service in and set up Danny Koenig or GB when he's back, or some of the other targets.
No, definitely. I think the partnerships, you know, playing in that 4-3-3, the fullback and the right winger and the left winger, those are key in trying to create those 2v1 positions to get into wide areas and then be able to deliver that service. So, yeah, I mean, keys to obviously are credit to those guys that have improved in that department too.
Aiden Quinn unable to catch up with it in the midfield. Malik Johnson is going to race down the left side. And Malik Johnson is tackled right in front of FC Cincinnati's bench. That'll be a foul on the orange and blue. Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC Channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XM FC, where the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times.
Good pressure from Tyler.
Polak wins it far touchline to McLaughlin. Quinn switches sides to Boehner. Boehner on the right finds Bone with some space to work. To McLaughlin, back to Corbin Bone, left-footed shot, and Corbin Bone misfires high and wide. Great look right at the top of the 18 for Corbin Bone, but unable to do anything with it.
Yeah, I'm sure he's annoyed at himself that he didn't get it on frame, just obviously bouncing up and couldn't get his head over it.
Goal kick coming from Mark Pace. He made 29 appearances the last 2 years for St. Louis FC. So a familiar face for many USL fans, I would imagine. This is Pace's 4th start of the season. And he has 2 clean sheets in his previous 3 starts.
Not going to have a clean sheet tonight. We talked about that at the start too. You know, that
5 in the first 10 games for Toronto. Toronto certainly struggled. Only 3 goals scored this season. That is last in the USL. They have not scored in the last 195 minutes and have just 1 goal now in the last 715 minutes. Ball played to the middle. Fordyce was trying to push it towards the box. Nobody home for FC Cincinnati. Pace will come over and scoop it up. FC Cincinnati currently, sits at 7th in the East with 12 points, and tacking on 3 more to make it 15 sure would be big for these guys, as they've now played 4 in a row at home. They'll be home again in the Open Cup, not a USL match, but against a USL opponent in Louisville City on Wednesday, and their next USL match is a week from today on the road at Rochester.
With a lot of games left, you know, I mean, very important to get to that 500 level and then hopefully make a big push forward. 32
match season, and this is match number 11, so tells you where we're at, right about that 1/3 mark. Ball played across the pitch to Boehner. Taps it forward for Dakers, who will draw 2 white jerseys. Dakers back to Boehner. On to Kadeem. Kadeem Dakers just outside the 18, sends it into the middle. Fordyce couldn't quite get to it. McLaughlin makes a great run to collect. McLaughlin has it tapped away right at the end line. Corner kick coming up for the first time tonight for FC Cincinnati.
Good interplay there again by Boehner and Dakers.
All of today's corner kicks are brought to you by the Levy Law Offices. Turn your crash into cash. Visit LevyLawOffices.com today. McLaughlin getting set to take it, but first a long chat going on right now with Guido Gonzalez and 3 players. Danny Koenig is one of them. Mitchell Tinctor, the defender at 6'1" out of Storrs, Connecticut, there as well. Now everybody will resume their position and get set. Harrison Delbridge, of course, pushing forward, as is Austin Berry, as they wait for the service from McLaughlin. He'll put his right foot onto it. Delbridge doesn't get to it. Then Delbridge is taken down after a collision with Brian James.
Give me a yellow card for it too.
And Harrison Delbridge is going to go into the book in the 27th minute with a yellow card. I'm sure we'll get another look here in a moment, as James was tackled by Delbridge. And here is the replay.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, the referee's right there and he comes through the back of him.
So Guido Gonzalez has his first booking of the night. It is Harrison Delbridge, his 3rd yellow card. Remember, 5 yellow cards means a 1-match suspension. Harrison met that fate last season. Nobody for FC Cincinnati currently has more than 3 yellow cards on the year. Danny Koenig.
Good pressure there.
Collects and then taps it forward for Dakers. Dakers has it taken off his foot. It'll be a throw-in for FC Cincinnati. Quickly to Fordyce. Fordyce sends it across the mouth of the goal, but Pace able to run over and grab it. Needed somebody taller in there than Corbin Bone or Jimmy McLaughlin. If anybody was going to do anything with that. 29th minute at Nippert Stadium. FC Cincinnati leading by a goal at home. Toronto FC 2 into the box and got a shot on Mitch Hildebrand, who makes his first save of the night.
I was just going to say, it's probably the first time that Toronto have moved up in possession into FC Cincinnati's half, and obviously that's probably the first chance in about 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, Alsith sent it into the middle to Ryan Telfer, who got a foot on it. Hildebrand was in position, makes his first save.
Yeah.
And the orange and blue head the other way. Hildebrand will send it across midfield with his right foot. Fordyce sent it on with a header, but Dakers couldn't quite catch up with it. Throw in for the Young Reds.
Thought he was going to be able to turn the corner there and keep that in.
Telfer looking for a long throw in. He accomplishes that, finding Sean Hundle forward. But FC Cincinnati wins it right back. Corbin Bone, amidst a host of white jerseys, found Jimmy McLaughlin, who had to hold up for a moment.
Yeah.
And that was just enough for Toronto FC 2 to break it up.
More and more Jimmy's coming from outside, coming in, trying to find those services, trying to get through balls in behind if he can. Sean
Hundle unable to get around Harrison Delbridge. Aerial play back to Hildebrandt. Now Matt Boehner will send it back to his goalkeeper.
Patient, if you just look at this, you know, I think FC Cincinnati, I said it earlier, I think they need to be maybe a little bit more direct in their play. Try to find those even number situations, or if they can create a number up situation, I think they can really test this Toronto's back line.
Austin Berry, right side forward for Kadeem Dakers. He'll pull it down and draw towards the corner. Double teams, knocked away. Throw in coming deep in the offensive third for FC Cincinnati. Boehner gets it into Fordyce. Fordyce with the cross, too strong, and Mark Pace will leap for it and have no trouble collecting. Sergio Camargo pushing up the right side. Now onto the left, Telfer. Dakers trailing defensively. Telfer with a cross. Barry heads it away.
Did very well there, actually. Coming in at an awkward kind of height. Did well to get down and head it away under pressure.
Boehner trying to clear it away. It'll be a throw in for Toronto. Deep in their offensive third. Let's go down and check in with the third member of our broadcast team, Lindsey Patterson.
Guys, FC Cincinnati almost at full strength this season. Again, we will see GB return in June, but Kenny Walker almost there, about 95, not quite 100, but he has been training a couple weeks with the club. They don't want to have any setbacks with him, but coach added this week, you really miss him, and that's even off the field. He said the sooner he gets back, the better.
Both teams will get an opportunity right now to get a drink of water as one of the Toronto players is down in front of the FC Cincinnati bench. Did not see what happened to him. Might be Brandon Onconi.
I think it is, yeah.
He took the knock when he connected heads with Danny Koenig earlier. And is Brandon Onconi, the defender, 6'2" out of Switzerland. Had 7 appearances last year for FC Montreal. And actually made his pro debut here at Nippert Stadium on June 11th of last year for FC Montreal. So,
yeah.
But we were just told he is coming out. So, substitution in the first half for third-year head coach Jason Bent. As Onconi cannot continue, that means defender Robert Boscovich, native of Canada, who has 1 appearance on the season. That came on Wednesday when he started and played 65 minutes against Richmond. Boscovich at 6'3" checks in, and Onconi comes out here in the 34th minute. Card came in pretty quick, so the medical staff knew he was unable to carry on.
Important replacement for any team, obviously replacing one of your center backs too.
Meanwhile, a throw-in inside of the offensive third for Toronto. Ends up onto the foot of Hundle. Hundle making a run right at Mitch Hildebrandt and shoots it wide to the left into the netting.
Yeah, Mitch does what he's supposed to do, protects his front post. A little loose there, he was able to get through pretty easily.
Hundle split a pair of defenders.
Yeah. I'm sure Mitch isn't very happy with.
Hildebrandt didn't give Hundle much of an angle to work with. If he tries to go the other way, Harrison Delbridge was there providing support. Boehner on the throw-in, looking for Koenig. Headed away by Toronto, and a throw-in for the orange and blue. Boehner will stand right in front of Toronto's bench, looking to put it back into play. Sends it to Dakers. Now Koenig. Bone and Quinn. Quinn going to look to cross it across the pitch. Comes funny off of Tyler Pollock, and Toronto may have numbers in transition.
Dangerous square pass to play across like that.
Hundo got around Quinn. And Aiden Quinn is going to be booked for the foul on Sean Hundo. Second yellow card issued to FC Cincinnati in the first half. This one comes in the 36th minute. And for Aiden Quinn, that is his third yellow card on the season. Saw Captain Austin Berry immediately in to have a chat with Guido Gonzalez. Worthy of a yellow card there, Kev?
No, I don't think so. I think initially
there
it was
some contact.
Yeah, I think the contact came at the start, but looked like he took probably 3 or 4 steps and went past him, then kind of dropped. So
Camargo, the midfielder out of Newmarket, Ontario. He's acting like he's going to take it. It's from about 35 yards away. Camargo playing it to the left. He was trying to feed it to Alseth. Never got there. Broken up by the FC Cincinnati wall. Alseth staying with it, and Pollock will clear it. Dakers trying to bring it down the right side. Toronto interrupts. And FC Cincinnati trying to get a quick throw in. Dakers was going to put it immediately back into play, but the ball never got to him. So now everybody will take their time coming forward. In the meantime, Danny Koenig is going to have to step out. There's apparently more blood coming from that wound above his eye. It was bandaged up, and we saw in the close-up after the goal, you could see some of the blood was coming through his bandage. Aaron Powell will patch him up.
Yeah.
And for the moment, FC Cincinnati will play a man down. Pollock trying to chip it forward for McLaughlin, wide and out along the touchline. Today's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by your Tri-State Chevy dealers. The work of Aaron Powell is done, and Danny Koenig right back out onto the pitch.
See if he scores again.
Yeah, worked last time, right? The magic touch of the medical staff.
That's
helping
right.
get Koenig back onto the field.
Ice hockey
He scored in the 18th minute, yeah. Delbridge down the left side. A little bit long for Koenig. Just outside the 18, trying to catch up with it, but pass intercepted by McLaughlin. Jimmy McLaughlin into the 18. McLaughlin into the middle. Ball bouncing around, and Toronto, in what could have been a very dangerous situation, is going to be able to clear.
Yeah, nice little scissors from Jimmy. Gets past the defender, puts it in.
Danger not over yet. Corbin Bone. Bone in the middle. Koenig can't get to it. Toronto broke it up, but it'll be a corner kick for FC Cincinnati.
Another good moment.
Jimmy McLaughlin will again take the corner from the far side. 39th minute, FC Cincinnati already leading by a goal. Here's McLaughlin into the box.
Oh.
Koenig got a piece of it, and it went just up over the goal.
Lucky.
He had a lot of space to try and bury his second of the day.
I think it just
went off his knee, yeah.
It's off his knee.
If that gets his foot, you got to believe.
Yeah, no, he
that
does
a
well.
Scorer like Danny Koenig
does well to
that
actually react to that.
Skipped off the hand of Pace. And now Mark Pace comes in with a 1.33 goals against average. Sends it out across midfield. Think about Pace, 2 clean sheets. The other match that he started that he didn't have a clean sheet in, he gave up 4 goals.
Oh.
Funny sport, huh?
It is.
I mentioned that Toronto played on Wednesday. They played Richmond, a 0-0 draw, and the Young Reds actually had to play the last 30 minutes down a man. Did well to hold on and earn the draw on the 1 point at home on Wednesday.
I think I talked about the humidity earlier and the heat. I think with that travel too, could be a big factor in the second half as it goes on.
Really the first match here at Nippert this season that we've seen this much humidity.
Yeah.
6th USL home match this year for FC Cincinnati. Fordyce with some room, 30 yards away, fires a shot, deflects off of Koenig. Telfer picks it up and he'll push right to left in his white kit for Toronto. Telfer knocks it back to Johnson. Now over to Boscovich, the first of 3 subs today for Jason Bent, as he had to replace defender Brandon Onconi. Johnson, as it comes off his foot. Barry was there showing pressure. Aiden Quinn into the middle, McLaughlin.
Toronto struggled a little bit to get kind of regular possession.
Luis Pereira came high with his boot. Will be called for a foul. FC Cincinnati will put it back into play in the midfield. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Quinn chips it forward with his left foot. Got it to the 18. Toronto turned it away. Pollock there to collect at midfield. Headed away inside of the offensive third by Toronto. Kadeem Dakers acting like he's going to throw it in, and Matt Boehner says, hold up, I'll make my way over and bring it back into play. Boehner to Bone, heads it back to Quinn. Aiden Quinn keeps it alive as he got tangled up with Pereira, and then a foul's called on FC Cincinnati right at midfield.
He's just going to have a word with him. I don't think he's going to book him. Just give him a warning.
Case, yep. I think Guido Gonzalez just said one more time. Yeah. Hayner has 2 yellow cards already this season. 43rd minute now, first half. FC Cincinnati leading 1-0. Right side, Camargo crosses it, but way too strong for any of his teammates. Throw in coming for FC Cincinnati.
Yeah, not much purpose for that service in.
Matt Boehner will bring it back in the defensive third.
I think if I'm FC Cincinnati, Aaron Allen talking to them at halftime, I want to keep this tempo as high as possible. All those factors that we talked about playing against Toronto, you want to be in control and dictate the game as much as you can.
Danny Koenig was actually called for a foul as Koenig and Boscovich got tangled up. It looked like Boscovich actually pulled him backwards, but they called Koenig for the foul. Pereira will put it back into play and have it sent right back to him from Brian James. Aubrey up the middle to James. Onto the foot of Johnson. Now Toronto has to go the other direction. Pereira trying to push forward, and good pressure there from Daryl Fordyce. Now it's Johnson. And Aiden Quinn takes down Malik Johnson. That'll be just a foul on Quinn, which is good news because he's playing on a yellow card.
Yeah, for sure.
Different options today for Alan Koch as we look at his subs. Lindsay talked a bit about how Kenny Walker not in the 18 today, but Justin Hoyt is. Victor Mansoret back in the 18 after not being dressed last Saturday. Marco Dominguez, who played really well in the Open Cup match, is dressed yet again. Dominguez waiting to make his USL debut for FC Cincinnati, but that's another guy that Allen's been really happy with the way not only he played in that Open Cup match, but the way that he's reacted in training.
I've definitely been impressed with him in training. Dominguez, he's a young player, young talent, but got a ton of attributes.
McLaughlin with a great ball from Bone. McLaughlin into the 18. Leaves it out wide for Polak. Polak beats a defender. Polak into the 18. Into the middle, didn't get it to McLaughlin. Pereira got his foot onto it. And Luis Pereira will clear it out into the midfield. Delbridge over to the left side, Bone. Now McLaughlin. Boy, would a second goal be big.
Be huge.
To give FC Cincinnati some massive momentum going into the locker room.
To this, they've definitely improved their possession, you know. As I said that, obviously they play it out, but that's all right. That happened last week too. Just with the possession though, I mean, it's one of those things, and I talked about it earlier. I think second half, Allen's going to say, look, you guys got to be relentless, you know. I mean, you can pressure as soon as you get into possession. Can you speed up the tempo? I think athletically, I think FC Cincinnati are superior. So you want to try to definitely make that an advantage if you can.
We are in stoppage time. There will be a minimum of 3 minutes. One of those 3 minutes already gone by. Misplayed by Toronto. Jimmy McLaughlin will pick it up. Jimmy working across the midfield. Looks for Kadeem Dakers. Dakers going to make a run, and he has some space. Pulls it down in the offensive third. Dakers with a left-footed cross. Quinn picks it up at the top of the 18.
Trying to get it back on his left.
Quinn trying to get it to that left foot.
Yeah, it just wouldn't fall for him, you know, on his right.
Fordyce heads it into the air. Koenig trying to win it back, and just a little bit of a shove in the back of Boscovich. The fans here in Cincinnati don't agree, but the foul is called on Danny Koenig.
It's definitely one thing we've seen in the last couple of weeks. Danny Koenig is a physical player. But it's important anytime that you're playing in that position as a target, number 9, I mean, you've got to be able to play well back to goal and challenge for any ball.
Koenig, a big guy at 6'2" out of Denmark. 3 goals in the last 2 matches now for FC Cincinnati. Bone heads it forward for Koenig. Dakers sliding, able to keep it into play. Telfer to pick it up for Toronto, and he flies between 2 defenders. Toronto with a chance here. Telfer with a right-footed shot, and it sails way wide into the Bailey.
Yeah, it's Telfer. We've seen that a couple of times this half where he's kind of taken the space, but that's probably the first time FC Cincinnati have dropped back. They had numbers actually where they probably could have pressured. They're dropping back with a 3 against 1 in their favor, so this quality needs to be a little bit better for Telfer.
Barry across midfield. Koenig got off his chest. Plays it to Dakers. Dakers has McLaughlin trailing. Toronto's going to clear it out along the touchline, and that will be all here in the first half. FC Cincinnati will take a 1-0 advantage to the locker room. Alan Koch was hoping for a throw in there deep in the offensive third. He did not get it. And we hope to hear from him momentarily, but I think Alan's going to seek an explanation first.
Yeah.
As to why there was not time for a throw-in. So we'll give Alan a moment to chat with the match official before Lindsay gets his thoughts. But 1-0 the lead right now for FC Cincinnati, who did a good job managing the first 45 minutes and obviously creating the opportunity that gave them the lead.
I think he's talking about the cards, actually. You know, it's a fair point. It's you've got to be consistent both ways. Right now, we're a third into the season, but those cards will start stacking up here pretty fast.
All of our sideline reports are brought to you by your local Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Volkswagen dealers. Let's go down to Lindsay, who's with Alan Koch.
Coach, again, we see it with Danny Koenig getting in early, getting you guys the lead. What do you want to see from you guys in the second half? What's the message?
We obviously had a bit of an up and down first 45 minutes. We've got to make sure we put together quality 45 minutes in the second half, because Toronto is a quality team. Got some very, very good young individual players. we gave way too much space for Handel, and he almost capitalized on one of the opportunities we gave him. So we've got to nullify those threats and then focus more on ourselves, take care of the ball, but we really have to put together a quality 45 minutes.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, certainly appreciate the time of Alan Koch here at Nippert Stadium. 45 minutes in the books, still 45 more to come, and your halftime score, FC Cincinnati 1, Toronto FC 2-0. We'll be back with a chat with Matt Boehner. That's coming up next. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. We are back halftime at Nippert Stadium between FC Cincinnati and Toronto FC 2. For defender Matt Boehner, this is a return to the campus of the University of Cincinnati as the local native is wearing orange and blue and thrilled to be doing so.
Everybody, I think, when you grow up, loves to play or dreams to play in your hometown. And you know, that's certainly something a dream of mine and something I was very excited to be able to do and live out. And you know, like you said, coming home, there's definitely something special about that. It does feel a little weird and surreal at times. You know, in our game against UC, it was a little weird and surreal playing against them and being on the other side and you know, my friends and family rooting for me against Cincinnati. That was a little bit weird, but and you know, my friends and family are all excited to have me back. So you know, it's great to be back and be able to help FC Cincinnati and the city of Cincinnati. I was out of a contract down in Jacksonville, and you know, Cincinnati, ever since they started a team, it was always something in the back of my mind that I would love to come play for Cincinnati and be a part of all the excitement. And you know, it just progressed, and fortunately, it turned out to be an opportunity that I couldn't pass up. And I felt like it was the right opportunity at the right time, and I felt like I needed to take it. It would have been nice if it happened maybe 3 or 4 years ago, right when I came out of college, and I could have started then. But you know, I'm here now, so you know, I'm excited about it, and you know, I think you couldn't ask for a better organization from top to bottom, players. I mean, coaches. It's just a great organization. I'm very fortunate to be a part of it. You know, I think Cincinnati is it's a great sports town. You know, sports fans growing up are great followers, regardless of how the teams do, of the Reds or the Bengals, things like that. They still follow the team. So, you know, as far as soccer specifically, you know, there's great high school soccer, there's great college soccer. And I think now with FCC, there's an opportunity for all those people to come together to support one team. Just being in this job, you get to move around a lot, and it's great. But at the same time, when you move away from friends and family, it can make things difficult. And when you come back home, me coming back home, it really, you have that support system really close to you, and you always have people there for you, and it's really exciting to be able to know that you have people in the stands that are rooting for you.
When we return to our halftime coverage here at Nippert Stadium, we'll take a look around the USL, and still to come, highlights from the first 45 minutes. That's all coming up next. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
We've raised the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars. Innovative technology and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
The USL's all-time leading scorer has added another accolade to his resume.
Here's Kelly. And he's got the hat trick! Dane Kelly has done it again! Back-to-back games, 3 goals for Kelly.
Dane Kelly is now the only player in USL history to score back-to-back hat tricks. Kelly notched his first 3-goal game in Reno's first win in club history.
Carries the ball ahead into an attacking position. He scored in the 2nd minute.
Together before they get another goal.
Brown Kelly, that's 2 in 6 minutes. Kelly, he steps over and he puts it in off the post. That is a hat trick in the 66th minute.
The second occurred in front of a home crowd, leading Reno to their first ever win at Greater Nevada Field.
Brent Richards finds Kelly, and Dane Kelly, goal! Kelly finds net again. Here's Kelly, and he's got the hat trick. Dane Kelly has done it again.
Kelly was honored with 2 USL Player of the Week recognitions following his back-to-back performances. For USL Network, I'm Morgan Conklin.
Tom Glenner and Kevin McCloskey back with you at Nippert Stadium, where FC Cincinnati a 1-0 lead at the half. Today's halftime highlights are delivered by PapaJohns.com. When FC scores twice, you get half-price pizzas online. Code FCPizza50. And the chances started to come early for FC Cincinnati.
Good early start, yeah, by Corbin Bone. Beating the defender, getting the ball in. Finding the wide players, obviously, with Jimmy. Tyler plays a great ball in. He comes on the field moments before. Danny Koenig, great finish at the back post.
Tyler Pollock, his first assist of the year, third goal in the last two games for Danny Koenig. And Toronto had a couple chances after that, looking for an equalizer.
Yeah, I think Mitch did well. Obviously, he covered front post on both occasions. Did a good job. I think the defense does a good job of staying under pressure as well, with his defending the set piece as well. So it's been good so far. Obviously not conceded a goal and scored one.
A bit of a warm and humid day. Lindsay Patterson was in the locker room. She is now out along with the orange and blue. So let's go downstairs and check in.
Yeah, guys, just left the locker room about 10 seconds ago, and the guys admitted in there, it's not going to be easy. It's hard work, but they can be dangerous. They just need to delay. If we can delay, get them everyone in position, it will pay off. They have to stay focused and smart, stay on your feet, manage the play in front of you, capitalize on moments in the second half. The upcoming schedule is brought to you by Audi Cincinnati East, bringing you the ultimate Audi experiment on Beachmont Avenue. Short week for FC Cincinnati, the U.S. Open Cup with this Wednesday against Louisville. They're back on the road against Rochester next Saturday. 3 of the next 5 will be here at Nippert.
All right, thank you, Lindsay. A great job as always. All of our sideline reports are brought to you by your local Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Volkswagen dealers. We saw that Open Cup match on Wednesday against Louisville City. Obviously a rivalry. They will now play 4 times during the regular season. 2 matches still to come down at Louisville Slugger Field. We will have that match for you here on the radio on ESPN 1530, and we will have a video stream via U.S. Soccer. There will be no television that night, but a video stream. We're very excited that we will have a broadcast opportunity and a way for fans who can't be here at Nippert Stadium to watch the match on Wednesday against the rival. Tyler Pollock and Harrison Delbridge knocking it back and forth as the second half is underway. FC Cincinnati now in their blue kits, working right to left, and they'll attack the goal in front of the Bailey. Initial ball was a hair long for Jimmy McLaughlin. FC Cincinnati able to win it back in the midfield. Maynard with a nice move to keep it alive. He'll knock it out wide to Dakers. Dakers back up top. Daryl Fordyce. Now it skips away off the foot of Quinn, and Toronto will look for numbers the other way. Toronto in white tops with blue shorts. Camargo, unable to do anything with it, turns it backwards. Gave it to Malik Johnson. The right side, Alseth. Now Alseth Taps it forward over the outreached foot of Luis Pereira. Kadeem Dakers called for maybe a little bit of a soft foul right at midfield. A little bit of contact there when the whistle comes.
I think Toronto player just got body position, I think, and turned him. Good lively start though from FC Cincinnati. I mean, they've good amount of tempo. Been able to get a good number into the attack.
Kadeem Dakers is taken down right at the top of the 18.
It's going to improve quality a little bit though.
Toronto recovers, plays a long ball. Harrison Delbridge can easily touch back to his goalkeeper, Mitch Hildebrandt. Polak. Back to Barry. FC Cincinnati looking to draw even at 500 on the season if they can hold on and win here at home today. It'll be their 4th victory of the year. Kadeem Dakers, bit obstructed there by Boscovich, able to regain his run. Now he'll cross it. Koenig was reaching, trying to get his foot onto it.
I think Dakers does really well to kind of stay on his feet and continue with the play. Obviously had the beating of the defender. Good refereeing, honestly, to let that go.
Corner kick coming for FC Cincinnati. All of today's corner kicks are brought to you by the Levy Law Offices. Turn your crash into cash. Visit LevyLawOffices.com today. Aiden Quinn will go over and take it with his left foot. We roll on to the 49th minute. FC Cincinnati leading by a goal, looking to extend the advantage. Quinn with the cross. Delbridge trying to get it with a header, cannot. Boehner picks up the deflection and sends it right back to Quinn. Quinn into the middle again, and Delbridge's header goes right over the goal.
Great weighted pass actually from Aiden Quinn outside. Harrison just unlucky, you can't get it on frame.
Pace will put it back into play with a goal kick. Kadeem Dakers knocks it down as his strike was low. Toronto will clear it out along the far touchline. FC Cincinnati will get a throw in. Boehner found Fordyce on the throw in. Malik Johnson turning it forward. Skips past Sean Hundle. Austin Berry will come over and send it back to Mitch Hildebrandt. You know, it's a warm, humid day. Certainly the warmest and most humid day we've seen of all of FC Cincinnati's home matches, and the pace has maybe reflected that a little bit.
Yeah, I think it has. I think even second half for Toronto, they're kind of happy to sit in their own half and drop back a little bit and start a line of confrontation and let FC Cincinnati build. Now it's a case of can FC Cincinnati create something into this attack.
We talked about it for Toronto. This is their 3rd match in a week. Kadeem Dakers right up the middle of the pitch. Left-footed shot goes just wide. Mark Pace dove to his left, didn't have to touch it, so he'll get a goal kick. Today's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by the Montgomery Inn.
Dakers got to do a little bit better from that last opportunity. Try and test the goalkeeper if he can.
Pace puts his right foot into it and sends it out into the midfield. Camargo trying to collect, headed away, Tyler Polak. Corbin Bone pushing back, taps it to the left. Jimmy McLaughlin broken up by Toronto. Nice job there by Alseth. Oyvind Alseth into the middle. Camargo. Camargo will turn it around, and now Toronto will again take their time. Brian James turning it left to right. Splits 2 defenders and sends it up the far touchline. Toronto into the offensive third. That Boehner there to deflect away the cross. Corner kick coming up for the Young Reds. All of today's corner kicks are brought to you by the Levy Law Offices. Turn your crash into cash. Visit LevyLawOffices.com today. Sergio Camargo, the midfielder, at 5'7". Take the corner kick in the 52nd minute. Onto the foot of Alseth. He turned it around. It's cleared by Tyler Pollock. Yeah. Mitch Hildebrandt was beat. Pollock cleared it off the line.
Tyler does a great job just cleaning that little flick that came in. I don't think Mitch saw it. Tyler did his job, staying on the back post there and cleared it.
It was Luis Pereira who got a piece of it when it bounced out. Skipped right past Mitch Hildebrandt, but Pollock, with a lot of confidence, knocks it out.
Yeah, did his job for sure. Jimmy's just got to be careful how far inside he goes to press, so he's not leaving Tyler isolated here in a 1v1 situation.
Throw in for FC Cincinnati. Pollock to McLaughlin. Back to Delbridge. Delbridge will clear it out into the midfield, but it drifts wide out along the touchline. So a throw in for Toronto, and Mitchell Tainter, the defender out of Connecticut, will set to bring it back into play. Bone got it forward to McLaughlin. Toronto able to regain control in the midfield. Austin Berry knocked it down as the ball was intended for Malik Johnson, but Toronto able to maintain the possession.
Seems like FC Cincinnati are stepping very high here too. Talked about, I think they're going to dictate this half and try to press defensively as well.
Time now for our Great Clips, Great Save. Save time every time when you use online check-in for a great haircut at Great Clips. It's going to be great. And Tyler Pollock has the great save today.
Does a good job. Anytime on set pieces, you know, fullback's job is obviously to mark those two posts in that space in between.
Boehner going to push it back in the direction of Mitch Hildebrandt, who will send it out into the midfield. Fordyce unable to win the header. Fordyce has been quiet so far in an FC Cincinnati uniform. Still searching for his first goal of the season today. His 6th start. Remember, he was dinged up early. 8 appearances for Alan Koch this season. Alseth to Camargo. Knocked out, and a throw in for Toronto. Oyvind Alseth, the native of Norway, who played 4 years at Syracuse, made 82 appearances with 7 goals. Puts it back in for Toronto. Malik Johnson with a shot that drifted on Mitch Hildebrandt. Not quite a chip, but it was just the way he hit it. It kept drifting, and Mitch
not as easy as it looks.
Back up all the way to his end line.
Did a good job getting back onto his line and collecting just underneath the crossbar.
Pollock into the middle, Quinn. McLaughlin was unable to keep it in. Let's take another look at that. Oh no, we'll hold on. Pereira
stops that, yeah.
Played it forward, but Sean Hundle was offside. That'll give us an opportunity to look at the ball that drifted a little bit from Malik Johnson. That would come in under the crossbar if Mitch isn't there.
Right at the crossbar, so he said did a good job to recover back to his line and take care of it.
Pollock played it to Koenig. He knocked it out to Jimmy McLaughlin, who couldn't quite keep it in. See down there, the FC Cincinnati subs are warming up. I was wondering, we talked about it, during the pregame before we went on the air. Justin Hoyt, maybe you see him for 25 minutes, 30 minutes to see how he's feeling. He's back to 100%, feels great. Could be an opportunity to give him a good test before he cracks the starting 11 again for Alan Koch, if that comes up sometime this week. Camargo fed it to Hundle, went between his legs, and now all the way back to Hildebrand.
I think the other thing too, you talked about subs or possible subs. I don't think Alan's thrilled at the minute with just that quality and attack. You know, I think if anything, he's probably looking to make a change to try to improve that. Possession's been okay.
Andrew Wiedemann was one of the guys who was warming up early, so he could certainly be an early sub. Remember, Christian Martinez, the midfielder, on loan from the Columbus Crew. He was back last Saturday, did not appear in that match. It's another one that certainly could see minutes today. Kadeem Dakers wins it back for FC Cincinnati. Koenig coming up the right side. James steps up. No, I'm sorry, that was Aubrey to break it up. Throw in coming for the home club. 58th minute at Nippert Stadium. Tom Gledder, Kevin McCloskey, Lindsey Patterson with you. David Ashbrock and our entire production crew doing a great job today as always. Happy to be with you with FC Cincinnati on top 1-0. Takers gets it to Bone. Now Quinn and back to Barry. FC Cincinnati will reset. Try to set things up. Barry was pushing forward for Dakers and was too strong with it.
It's got to be a little bit more patient. Just improving the quality. But like we said, you know, obviously you can see the natural shape of the game here. It's being played in Toronto's half. Certainly going to be more opportunities that are going to come up. You just have to be a bit more ruthless, you know, improve that end product.
Andrew Wiedemann was just called over to the bench area to chat with Johan Dumais, the assistant to Alan Koch. So we may see him put on his jersey top before long. Certainly is good when you have a guy with Andrew Wiedemann's resume to turn to come in to help your offensive shape for maybe the final 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the strength of the squad, and it's got many different options.
Wiedemann's a guy with 30 Major League Soccer appearances. Of course, played extensively last year here for the Orange and Blue. Has 2 assists on the season. Alseth. Pass intercepted. Polak. Koenig. Out wide for Dakers.
This is good.
He has Boehner trailing with some space. Matt Boehner, the Cincinnati product. Will cross it into the middle. McLaughlin got a piece on it. Fordyce tried to deflect it from there. Could not. Toronto able to clear into the midfield, but he goes right to Austin Berry.
It's got to be careful here. Center backs are so high up the field too. It just takes one type of quick release like here to try to free in a player in behind. So I think Austin and Harrison have got to be clued on every possession. Make sure they don't get too carried away into the attack.
Toronto ends up playing it back to Mark Pace, who now will send it into the midfield. Austin Berry heads it down. Tyler Polak. Onto the foot of Fordyce. Fordyce onto the right. Dakers collects and pulls it out wider. Now back for Boehner. Onto the foot of Corbin Bone. Bone into the 18. Tried to feed it back to Boehner, never got there. Barry uses his noggin to keep it going forward, but nobody was there in a blue uniform.
A little bit of confusion, it looked like.
Alseth in the midfield. Sends it into the middle. A lot of room there for Pereira. Luis Pereira's shot is deflected and it rolls right into the midst of Mitch Hildebrand.
2 center backs just got to be careful they don't get spread out and split. Pereira probably could have, drove his run a little bit quicker and faster into that space, but chose to make a shot obviously from about 25-30 yards out.
Pair of substitutions coming, one for each club at the next opportunity. Aiden Daniels will be coming on for Toronto. He will replace Malik Johnson. Danny Koenig in the meantime to the offensive third for Cincinnati. McLaughlin has it deflected away. And Tyler Pollock is down, grabbing, appears maybe to be his right leg. And play will be stopped for Aiden Daniels to check in, and then we'll see Andrew Wiedemann check in, and he will replace Daryl Fordyce. So that is the second of 3 substitutions for Toronto. Daniels, a 5'9" midfielder and native of Canada. Andrew Wiedemann, who quickly became a fan favorite last year, checks in and replaces Daryl Fordyce. First for Alan Koch.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I think, Daryl probably did a good job there defensively getting things set up. Just struggled a little bit to get more into the attack. I think if you watch him play, though, he's a very, very intelligent player. Organizes, sets up the defense well. I'm sure for him and his confidence, he wants to just get some more into the attack, some more opportunities. Be kind of more of an impact, really.
As far as discipline has been concerned today, Harrison Delbridge, Aiden Quinn both playing on yellow cards. That's the only 2 bookings we've seen. Long ball for Jimmy McLaughlin, lands on his foot. He brings it into the box. Looking far post, Kadeem Dakers can't get there. Toronto played it well defensively.
Good early ball by Jimmy outside the right foot. Almost picked out Dakers at the back post.
Camargo forward, and it goes off the post. Mitch came way off his line.
Yeah.
And Ryan Telfer had him beat and clunked it off the right post.
I'm talking about just in transition. They can't get too caught up into the attack.
Sean Hundle to Camargo. Matt Boehner breaks it up and clears the 18.
Boehner does a great job there. 2 big effort plays on that.
And actually, it was Sean Hundle on the shot that hit the post. 64, not 54. Brian James. Now Wiedemann and Bone as FC Cincinnati tries to get away from this flurry of action inside of their defensive third.
The offside, is he?
Yep. Yeah. Flag went up. A little bit late. Dakers was waiting for it, and then the linesman put the flag up. Here's the shot.
So they just get split. We're talking about the center back stepping high.
As Sean Hundle went right off the post.
Mitch does a good job actually, forcing the play from Hundle.
Nearly an equalizer. Just after the 60th minute for Toronto. Young Red still working offensively, trying to tie this up at 1 apiece. Across the middle to Hundle. He has some room right at the top of the 18.
Yeah.
Hundle with pressure from Barry. Now Camargo. And Delbridge will send it into the air on the clear. Dakers doing a good job trying to win position and possession with Robert Boscovich all over his back, and they're going to call it Kadeem Dakers for the foul.
Yes, they've got to tighten up defensively here. It's too much space. They're giving Toronto too much time to turn, combine. Right at the top of the box, too. Very dangerous area.
Today's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by your local Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Volkswagen dealers. Cross for Toronto, went right to the foot of Alseth. Harrison Delbridge is there for a deflection. Jimmy McLaughlin will try to make the long run the other way. Toronto wins it back with a foot of Mitchell Tainer. Jordan McCrary, the defender out of Georgia, will be the 3rd and final sub for Jason Bent, and he will replace Tainter. James going to push it out wide. Boscovich. Boscovich was the early sub. Coming on for Coney, who got hurt in the first half. Koenig in the middle. Bone pushing it forward out wide to McLaughlin.
Try to get some support if they come from a fullback.
Jimmy McLaughlin into the middle, broken up. It was intended for Danny Koenig, of course.
Yeah. I think Danny's done a good job, honestly. I mean, I think his build-up or his back-to-goal play has been fantastic. He holds it well. Just not getting a ton of penetration from the midfield at the minute.
Austin Berry with a great play to keep it alive. Austin Berry with a shot. And Mark Pace had to come way off his line to make a save. But how about Austin Berry beat 3 Toronto players to get a one-on-one with the keeper.
Austin, he's putting his name in the hat for attacking center mid, I think, there.
Look over to our right, the guys who are not dressed today, and who has the biggest smile is former Louisville teammate, now current teammate Kenny Walker, who's not dressed today. What a run there by Austin Berry, though. Brings the Bailey to life a bit with a 1-0 advantage for the orange and blue. There's one.
Nice little move.
There's two.
Almost got him too. Good effort there from Austin for sure. Corner kick. Coming up here.
Yeah. Corner kick for FC Cincinnati. Far side. Quinn will go over to take it. Final sub first for Toronto, and you'll see Jordan McCrary check in and Mitchell Tainter take a seat. McCrary played collegiately at UNC, product of Alpharetta, Georgia. 86 appearances for the Tar Heels. He was the 10th overall pick in the 2016 draft by New England. Ended up being released and signed this March by Toronto. Quinn's corner kick comes across and skips wide, intended for Harrison Delbridge.
Just overhits it, I think. Looking to try to find a big target at the back post, but it's a little bit too much pace on the ball.
69th minute at Nippert Stadium. FC Cincinnati 1, Toronto FC 2-0. First of 2 meetings this season between the clubs. Quinn heads down the ball at the midfield. Toronto able to keep it alive. Matt Boehner's going to turn it back to Mitch Hildebrand. Hildebrand into the midfield as the next FC Cincinnati sub has come out to midfield, and it's Marco Dominguez, 21-year-old out of Montreal, played with FC Montreal last year, will make his USL debut for FC Cincinnati. And he will come on for Aiden Quinn, who's playing on a yellow card. Corbin Bone out wide for McLaughlin. He turned it forward, but nobody home.
Yeah, this will be obviously a great opportunity for Dominguez. Comes in, watched him a lot the last few weeks in practice. He's got a ton of talent. I think now obviously just trying to provide that extra and additional experience. And it's got to start somewhere, right? And he's got to put him in and trust in the player's ability.
Dominguez of Guatemalan descent. Having grown up in Canada, he can play for either national team. He's made some youth national team appearances for Canada. Does not have a senior team cap, so he could still play for the Guatemalan national team or Canada's national team, depending on how things play out as he gets opportunities. But right now, it's the first time he'll step on the pitch for FC Cincinnati in a league match.
I think one thing you'll notice just how clean his technique is. Similar to Aiden Quinn, honestly, he's a very, very similar player.
Dominguez, 37 appearances and a goal the last 2 years for Montreal's now defunct USL side. Jimmy McLaughlin will have a throw, and now he'll leave it for Tyler Pollock. Wiedemann acted like he was going to take it. He left it for Jimmy, who leaves it for Tyler. Allow a few extra seconds to run off the clock. Third meeting tonight between these two teams. FC Cincinnati won both last season. Ball into the middle, headed down, ends up on the foot of Corbin Bone. Tyler Pollock forward for Wiedemann. Wiedemann down the left side with a great ball. Then Wiedemann turned, tried to get in the middle of Pollock and couldn't quite find him. Kadeem Dakers barreling down the pitch, wins it back and sends it to his goalkeeper. Toronto holding it in the midfield, 72nd minute. 1-0 in favor of the orange and blue.
You know, Toronto have had probably 2 or 3 good chances in the second half as well. Certainly not out of this game. It's a dangerous scoreline for FC Cincinnati.
Insurance goal, I think, would be welcomed by everybody wearing orange and blue here at Nippert Stadium today.
I totally agree with you. I think, you know, obviously they've had possession for FC Cincinnati. They've had the majority of it, but a 1-0 scoreline's very, very dangerous, especially with what Toronto have done in the second half.
Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM-FC Channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XM-FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Toronto right up the middle, making a run. Alseth will get it out wide. Oyvind Alseth right outside the 18 with Tyler Pollock trailing. Alseth will pull it back. Camargo into the middle. Cleared away by Boehner, and now Delbridge sends it into the midfield. Luis Pereira over to the left side. Onto the right, Camargo wins the header. Goes straight up into the air, then falls back down to him, but not before Jimmy McLaughlin got there. McLaughlin and Camargo got tangled up. A whistle from our match official, Guido Gonzalez. Toronto's pass will be intercepted by Kadeem Dakers.
Good early ball by Dakers.
Forward to Wiedemann, 2-on-4 for FC Cincinnati, and Wiedemann hasn't taken off his foot.
Toronto certainly starting to see much more of the ball these last 5 minutes. Starting to get numbers into the attack as well.
Brian James tapped out wide to Alseth, and a bit too strong from Camargo. As it rolls out along the touchline, throw in coming for FC Cincinnati. Announce the attendance. 18,214 is the number. That'll keep the average on the season right now at right around 19,000. I think Tyler Pollock just got a warning from Guido Gonzalez for taking maybe a little bit too much time to retie his shoes while he waited to put it back into play. Austin Berry working it into the midfield. Koenig has McLaughlin showing support to his left, and that's where he'll leave it. McLaughlin into the 18, crosses it. Koenig got a piece of it, goes straight up into the air. Alseth mishits it, and it comes down to Dominguez.
This is his first touch in the game, maybe.
Boehner on the right side. His service is headed away, and Boehner's going to let it bounce out along the end line. It was going right for that flag and fell in favor of the orange and blue. Big opportunity here for FC Cincinnati to extend their advantage to 2. Hayden Quinn is out. Now, he had been taking
the battle there between Jimmy McLaughlin and Tyler Pollock.
Tyler Pollock will go over. He took a lot of those corner kicks, being a lefty last year.
Yeah, he did.
So Tyler will get over there to take the corner kick in the 76th minute.
Interesting on these set pieces too. FC Cincinnati probably have a height advantage, certainly with Harrison and Austin at the back.
Koenig there as well.
Yeah.
They're all in the box. It skips over the head of Barry and Delbridge. Cleared away by Toronto. Alseth on the right side. His pass is intercepted. McLaughlin unable to take it off the foot of Jordan McCrary, one of the subs today for Toronto. And Kadeem Dakers is going to be called for a foul. Came in a bit too strong. That was Alseth he knocked down. Hasn't been a real physical match. We've seen some very physical matches this year from FC Cincinnati.
I think it started that way, right? I think there was obviously a couple of collisions first half, but yeah, it's not being that physical. As I said, I think FC Cincinnati probably want to make it more physical than it really is. I think athletically they're probably stronger than this Toronto team.
Matt Boehner intercepts the pass. Boehner keeps it on his foot, turns it back to Hildebrandt. Mitch's service into the midfield skips over the head of Koenig. Alseth for Toronto. Pushed it up the touchline. Tyler Pollock did a nice job to screen off Camargo and let it roll out along the end line.
Be interesting to see if Vala makes another change here, another substitution. You can look at it kind of two ways. Either you go for that extra insurance goal or you protect the lead, right? So going to keep a close eye these next 5 minutes, I think, on his squad or on his team and see how he needs to improve certain positions.
If you're protecting the lead, I think your options are Justin Hoyt or Paul Nicholson probably.
Yeah.
If you're going for it, then you're probably looking at Christian Martinez or Victor Mansour.
Yeah.
Tyler Pollock is taken down and again grabbing his right knee right in front of FC Cincinnati's bench.
It's just such an open game too. I think that decision is probably going to come here in the next 5 minutes.
Hard foul there from Brian James. Pollock attending to his right leg and ankle, it would appear. Tyler appears that he'll continue. That almost certainly would be Justin Hoyt if Pollock could not continue. Tyler is okay. Marco Dominguez will put it back into play for FC Cincinnati. Dominguez to his left has McLaughlin. Jimmy looking for a cross. Can't find it. Back to Dominguez.
So comfortable, very comfortable so far.
Delbridge will play it forward for Corbin Bone. Can he keep it in on the end line?
Yeah.
If he did, it'll be a corner kick, and he did. He bounced it off of Brian James. Actually, Brendan Aubrey, doesn't matter. He bounced it off someone in a white jersey. Yeah. And that means a corner kick coming here for FC Cincinnati. Great job there by Corbin Bone.
You'll see this crowd explode here if they can try to
right
capitalize.
in front of the Bailey. McLaughlin with a cross. Pace punches it away. Dakers heads it back into the box. Wiedemann trying to keep it alive. Dominguez stepped over it. Dakers gets it out wide for McLaughlin. Jimmy McLaughlin into the 18, takes a shot. And no trouble there for Mark Bass.
Yeah, good option. Obviously, he's played a lot of deliveries into the box. Dakers runs across and he cuts inside and tries to have a go from there.
Just one goal today so far. It came off the foot of Danny Koenig in the 18th minute on the pass from Tyler Pollock. That is the difference in the match right now as we are in the 81st minute. 1-0 FC Cincinnati. Camargo making a run down the right side for Toronto. Sends it into the middle. Bone comes back to break it up. Then Camargo picks it right back up off the foot of Pollock. Marco Dominguez showing pressure.
Good tackle by Dominguez.
Dominguez with a big defensive play. Takes it off the foot of Alseth. Koenig. Working up the middle.
That's fantastic work rate too by Koenig.
Ended up not being able to find Andrew Wiedemann. Toronto back the other way, and Corbin Bone won it back. We'll say he put his hand on Aiden Daniels, maybe called for a foul.
Yeah.
It's like Sean Hundle might be cramping up a little bit. He's stretching.
We talked about the travel, right? I think right about now, 80th minute, I'm sure some of those players are going to feel that. A lot of minutes, a lot of travel. Combine that with the heat. Cramp is definitely inevitable.
All 3 subs have been used by Jason Bent, so he has nobody left to bring into the match. Nobody is warming up aggressively right now for FC Cincinnati. We'll see if Alan Koch has someone put on their uniform top and look to check in as his 3rd and final sub. Alseth tied up with Polak. Great defensive play by Tyler. Bone trying to play it down the left side in the direction of Jimmy McLaughlin. Toronto got it back. Paul Nicholson is, yeah, Nikos picked up the pace of his warm-up, so he may be the late and 3rd defensive sub coming for Alan Koch. In the meantime, into the middle, another dangerous situation for Toronto. Daniels wasn't able to do anything with it, tracked it back down.
I think that gives you an indication of his plan these next 8 minutes. If Paul Nicholson does come in, probably just going to try to protect the lead.
Alston Berry sliding forward to touch it the other way. Wiedemann, great ball for Dakers. Dakers without much support. And it's going to be a corner kick. Yeah, Dakers did a good job there.
He did.
Pulled it down. Didn't have anybody to go to, so he knocks it off of Brandon Aubrey. FC Cincinnati will get the corner.
Probably makes, what, 70-yard run there? In transition,
yeah.
Boehner finds him in space.
On a hot and humid day here at Nippert Stadium.
I mean, 2 wingers, obviously, we talk about it, seems like every week at least, with Jimmy and Dakers, but their work rate is phenomenal.
Polak will try to set up his 2nd assist of the day. And all the height will be there. Actually, Delbridge will hold back defensively.
Yeah.
But you got Barry and Koenig providing the height inside of the box. Service is short from Polak. Toronto wins it back. Dominguez is taken down hard. Oyvind Alseth got a piece of him, and he's going to go into the book. First yellow card today on Toronto.
Showing a little bit of experience from that young player. Dominguez, I think he sold out a little bit too.
Dominguez is still down, grabbing his left ankle. Let's see. His ankle caught the knee of Alseth. Not sure it's a yellow card, but works in the favor of FC Cincinnati at this moment.
But again, showing a little bit of experience. He does need to get back onto his feet quickly. Managing the game, letting the seconds and minutes tick away.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Mark Pace will set up his defense. Tyler Polak and Jimmy McLaughlin both stand over the ball, set to put it back into play in the 85th minute now. McLaughlin looking for Barry. Pace got there first.
Yeah. Keeper does well, but obviously Austin was arriving in late at the back post.
So we have 5 minutes of regulation remaining, plus some stoppage time. I can't imagine right now there's very much. That yellow card moments ago was the only booking of the second half, and we haven't had a goal in the second half. Shadows now extend all the way across the pitch at Nippert. Brian James turns it backwards. FC Cincinnati clinging to a 1-0 advantage. Daniels. Out of James. Alseth. McCrary into the box. Mitch Hildebrandt, no trouble there as he steps onto it.
The Billy singing Depeche Mode, is it?
I think it is.
It is.
You know, the Bailey, wildly impressive, and you and I saw it. I don't think many of the 18,000 or so that were here last Saturday saw it. But most of the Bailey went up underneath the rec center overhang there and waited out the 2-hour lightning delay last Saturday, and all stormed back to their seats when it was announced that FC Cincinnati had won.
It was tremendous support. I think we saw captions of Carl Lindner and Jeff Birding coming down to kind of rally the support, rally the fans. But credit to those guys, they weren't going anywhere.
When I learned via Twitter later in the evening, not only were they lending support, they brought, let's say, hydration beverages and some snacks. Beverages and snacks.
Probably Coonies, right? Cheese Coonies.
They brought something. Whatever it was, the faithful inhabitants of the Bailey were very grateful.
Yeah.
Dakers and Boehner trying to keep it alive towards the corner. Boehner loses it right at the flag. It'll be a throw in deep inside the defensive third for Toronto.
FC Cincinnati, they'll just want to kind of press in here and try to contain in this corner if they can.
All of the FC Cincinnati subs have been called back inside of the shelter now. We have not yet seen Paul Nicholson step out to midfield, so Allen may be done at this point. We will see. Good news is he has one in his back pocket if he needs it.
Yeah.
I think in the situation last Saturday, Omar Cummings had been called in the match, probably the shortest appearance of his career, as he was out there for maybe 2 seconds and had to walk straight back to the locker room. Bone to Dakers. Great touch up to Wiedemann, and now out wide McLaughlin. McLaughlin gives it back to Wiedemann inside the box. Back out to McLaughlin.
Just keep it here.
He'll find Dakers.
Come back out. Good decision.
Dakers is going to pull it towards the corner. He'll draw a double team.
Draws the foul.
And Dakers draws a foul right along the end line. Dangerous spot for a free kick.
About 2 minutes left. Interesting to see if they just try to keep it in the corner here, kill the game off.
Like I said, it can't be a lot of stoppage time, probably a minute, maybe 2.
No, I think Toronto get possession back. They're going to gamble quickly, so they're going to try to attack pretty directly, I think.
I think you can see here what the game plan is going to be.
Yeah.
Dakers and Koenig are the only players
probably smart just
even
to keep
near
it in
the
corner.
18.
They don't have to put it across, right? They don't have to give the ball back.
Nope. Wiedemann and McLaughlin are going to tap it back and forth to each other until Toronto comes over and puts some pressure on.
Good.
Dominguez trying to cross it. Intercepted by Toronto, who is going to have to work quickly the other way. Pereira is fouled. Stops and then immediately feeds it forward to Camargo. Alseth pushing towards the offensive third, turns it around. 90th minute at Nippert Stadium. Tom Glader, Kevin McCloskey, Lindsey Patterson. 3 minutes of stoppage time will be added on. Probably feel like 33 minutes for the fans here at Nippert.
No nonsense defending, really. Just got to clear it if they can. Sit back. They don't need to chase. Just stay compact. Try to win this ball back.
Crary. Austin Berry does just that. Wins it. On to Jimmy McLaughlin. McLaughlin was trying to feed it forward for Wiedemann. One right back by Pereira. So we are on to stoppage time. 3 minutes. The minimum number to be played. A lot of space up the middle, and Jimmy McLaughlin does well to find Koenig, and now out wide for Dakers, who will gladly slow it down. Dakers making the run up the right side, knocked out far touchline. Robert Boscovich was sliding in. I think Matt Boehner is going to be in a hurry to throw it in.
It's a bit of a foxtrot.
It's more of a turtle's pace right now, I think. Yeah.
Just thought I knew you were an avid dancer, Tommy. So
yes.
I thought you'd know the name of it.
Paul Nicholson, an avid dancer. He will check in.
There you go.
He if you go to Rio, you got to be an avid dancer, right?
Yeah.
So Nico will check in. Kadeem Dakers will come out. So that's clearly a defensive substitution for Alan Koch. Third and final sub for the orange and blue. Comes in stoppage time. You see the fourth officials waving Kadeem to maybe make it a little bit faster.
Nicholson's playing right wing, you think?
I don't think so. I am far from a coach, but I'm going to go way out on a limb and say he's not playing right wing. Koenig keeping it alive in the corner, pushed it to the end line. Goal kick coming up. Well, Mark Pace isn't going to waste any time here. The native of St. Louis will get set to put his right foot in it. Probably about 90 seconds of stoppage time remaining. Delbridge heads it down. Montreal regains control. Excuse me, Toronto. Just watching Marco Dominguez there, who played for Montreal last year. A little bit of a Canadian slip. I apologize for that.
It happens.
Everybody watching on YouTube back in Toronto. The Young Reds trailing by a goal in stoppage time, looking for one last push. McCrary on the right, deflected off the chest of Jimmy McLaughlin, and a throw-in coming in the offensive third for Toronto. Alseth making a run just outside the 18, and Jimmy McLaughlin is going to be called for a foul in a very dangerous spot. Toronto certainly will have time here to try and set something up. Alseth battling with McLaughlin, who got his arm up on his shoulder.
So he just grabs his shoulder around,
for that yank
around his neck.
Luis Pereira will take it. Mark Pace is at midfield. He hasn't come all the way up. I thought he might.
Surprised the goalkeeper's not up.
Yeah,
honestly.
me too. This is the last chance, really, for Toronto. FC Cincinnati has their wall set. Guido Gonzalez blows his whistle. Pereira will play it back. Chipped forward. Mitch Hildebrandt comes up. Ball goes directly into the air. Bouncing to Hildebrandt. And Toronto's going to be called for a foul inside of the 6-yard box.
I think Mitch might have taken a pretty strong knock there as well.
Hildebrandt may have lost a contact. Let's take one more look at it. Chipped forward. Good strategy by Toronto. Brian James just misses it. Comes straight up into the air. And Jordan McCrary maybe stepped on the foot of Mitch Hildebrandt. Either way, Hildebrandt is looking at his left eye. I think he just said my contact. So Mitch Hildebrandt may have lost a contact here late. He's taking off his gloves.
Put his gloves back on.
I think he's asking for some help, and it will not matter. Well, no, it will. He's going to have to at least put it into play. He does. And there it is, the final whistle from Guido Gonzalez. And 3 home points for FC Cincinnati. They are dancing in the Bailey tonight as FC Cincinnati wins their 2nd consecutive league match.
Important 3 points for sure. I'd say it's not the best performance, but I'm sure they're very, very happy to get those 3 points and walk away with a win.
A clean sheet today for Mitch Hildebrandt, his 3rd of the season, and you can see the medical staff over to try to help him with either a contact that's stuck in his eye or popped out. The good news is, didn't have to worry much about his vision after striking that ball out into the midfield and sealing the victory for FC Cincinnati. Today's moment of the match is driven by Toyota. Let's go places. And pretty easy, the Danny Koenig goal in the 18th minute.
The definitive moment, right? Great ball in by Tyler. Danny Koenig does a great job of getting over the top of it and heading into the back of the net.
Koenig with his 3rd goal in the last 2 games, his 2nd consecutive game winner for FC Cincinnati, who all of a sudden has 15 points and the club 4-4-3 on the season following the win. We're going to step aside and take a break. When we return, we will hear from Alan Koch and show you the highlights from tonight's match. Once again, your final score, FC Cincinnati 1, Toronto FC 2-0. We'll return to wrap it up. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. The Baileys celebrating a 1-0 victory for FC Cincinnati here at Nippert Stadium. 3 big points for the orange and blue. Lindsey Patterson is with victorious head coach Alan Koch. Let's head down to the pitch.
Coach, a couple weeks ago, some were looking for consistency with this club. You've combined 3 wins, including a U.S. Open Cup win. You get a clean sheet here today and 3 points. What an effort by your Jai.
Well, we're obviously happy we won 3 games in a row, but we still know we're capable of better. And obviously tonight was a difficult game. We played against a very, very good Toronto team. Give them a lot of credit in the second half. They were really going at us. I don't know if people on TV or on the stands can see, but it's boiling down here. And you can see a lot of our players were really, really fatigued at the end. But you got to give Toronto credit. They played 3 games this week, and they were still trying to go at us at the end. But we're obviously ecstatic to get another huge 3 points. I think tonight was more than just the players on the pitch. I don't know if people saw just before Danny went in and scored a great goal. Dr. Brian Growie was over there patching him up. Athletic therapist Aaron Powell was over there. So just shows what a big part our team and our club are of everybody working together to go help each other out. And that wasn't just 11 players on the pitch tonight. That was the whole group that come to work every single day. So we'll gladly take the 3 points and we'll march forward. And we're excited to play Louisville now on Wednesday.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Back to you, Tommy.
Alan Koch picks up the 3 points. Thank you, Lindsay. Tonight's match highlights are presented by Toyota. For all the latest Toyota offers, visit buyatoyota.com. And the pressure came early for FC Cincinnati.
Yeah, good early start by Corbin Bone, trying to put the Toronto defense under pressure. Next up then, Jimmy, obviously as menacing as ever, gets involved. Great ball in by Tyler Pollock. This is the finish here by Koenig.
The hockey assist to Jimmy McLaughlin, setting it up, and the 3rd goal of the year for Danny Koenig. But Mitch Hildebrand of the defense had to hold on at times too.
And we talked about before the game, clean sheet, right? Came up big, obviously the back 4 and the goalkeeper. It's a good opportunity here just to, see the resilience in the defense and making sure that they clear that pressure.
Toronto brought the pressure, especially in the last 20 minutes. A few scary moments for FC Cincinnati defensively.
Yeah, Tyler Pollock does a great job, obviously just staying where he's supposed to be on a set piece. Mitch on that last play obviously watches it all the way in. And defensively they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
And sometimes getting a little bit lucky off the post there from Sean Hundle. Pollock made the defensive play there. Then this was the last chance for Toronto, and FC Cincinnati found a way to keep it out of the goal.
Yeah, it just did enough, but as I said, it's one of those things. I'm sure they're going to continue to look at improving set pieces, but did enough tonight to get the win.
All right, let's go back down to the pitch one more time. Lindsay is with Danny Koenig.
Guys, down here with the man of the match in back-to-back matches, 3 goals in the last 2. You seem to be fitting in with this team.
Yeah. I can almost say I had a close to perfect start in FC Cincinnati, so I'm very happy, and we got the 3 points today, and that's the most important thing.
Do you guys feel like you're riding on that momentum? Because ever since you've been playing, you're winning out there.
Yeah, but it's all the team. You know, they had a little bit of a hard start to the season, but I think we're getting there now. We are three games in a row we won, so we're getting there, and hopefully we can continue.
Thanks, Danny. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Lindsay. A great job tonight, and awesome to hear from newcomer Danny Koenig, who scores his 3rd goal in the last 2 matches. Tonight's Man of the Match is presented by You Pull and Pay. Find the parts you need fast and save at You Pull and Pay. It was physical for Danny Koenig. Al Koch just talked about him getting patched up. You see Dr. Growie right there, getting him back out there, and it's a good thing he did.
Yeah, no, comes on 10 seconds later, he scores a goal. But yeah, another great performance by Danny Koenig. A lot of the dirty work too. Works really hard to kind of hold up the play and bring other players into it. So very impressed.
Is the man of the match Dr. Growie or Danny Koenig? maybe we go man of the match tonight, but either way, a good win and 3 big points today for FC Cincinnati here at home. Once again, our final score from Nippert Stadium: FC Cincinnati 1, Toronto FC 2-0. Our next broadcast will be Wednesday night, a video stream and a radio broadcast on ESPN 1530 of the Open Cup against Louisville City. For sideline reporter Lindsey Patterson, my broadcast partner Kevin McCloskey, our producer David Ashbrock, and production manager Mike Bacon, I'm Tom Glenner saying so long and good night from Nippert Stadium, where FC Cincinnati gets the win.